I was super skeptical about James Gunn's Superman for a number of reasons. Reason 1. I'm a huge Cavill fan. Losing him after that Black Adam cameo felt like being promised a steak and ended someone's day or kebab. I remember being in the cinema. He walks out of the smoke, crowd loses it. Then Gunn decides to recast him a week later. They done my boy Cavill so bad. Reason 2. The teaser trailer. Cinematography, like looking for a pint glass taped to a drone. That wide, fish-eyed nonsense didn't work in Suicide Squad, The Flash or Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It doesn't scream cinematic to me. It looks cheap, like a low-budget TV show. Also, why open with Superman flat on his back looking like he lost a fight after a few pints down the pub? Later we get a decent save the day bit. The little kid says Superman, William's score kicks in. Proper goosebumps. That's the vibe. Not sad lad in spandex. Reason 3. The main trailer showed him hated by the public. Again. Metropolis in flames. Again. Feels like deja vu. Also, I didn't like him getting so emotional and losing his cool.
Consequences.
People were going to die! I lost me bottle a little bit.
And the Justice Gang. Why are we introducing such abstract characters? Look, I like Nathan Fillion, so the Green Lantern I'll allow. But Guy Gardner, that's not the bloke you introduce as the first Lantern in your universe. He's the character that comes further down the line. They've already got Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart cast and filming. Just introduce one of them here for crying out loud. Reason 4. James Gunn. Talented? No doubt. Love Guardians. But Gunn doing Superman is like asking Guy Ritchie to direct a sequel for The Notebook. Gunn shines with weirdos and misfits, not with the symbol of hope for humanity. All that being said, I went to watch the film, and coming out the cinema, I felt flat, tired and underwhelmed. I didn't feel inspired, hopeful and optimistic, which is what I wanted to feel coming out of a Superman film. The story moved like a pub crawl without the pubs, just walking from scene to scene not knowing why you're on the move. The whole international conflict plotline was pointless. It happened before the film even began, so we had no emotional investment, yet it was the main driving point for the plot. How were we meant to empathise with Superman, or even understand why he did what he did, if we never saw him make the impossible choice? If we actually seen him stop the war, save the kids, do the hard thing, we'd feel the weight he's carrying. Instead, we're told he's conflicted, but shown nothing. Classic case of show don't tell. Lex Luthor, great actor, wasted with this script. Lex's motivation was unclear. Why did he want the Fortress of Solitude if he's already cloned Superman as Ultraman? And if Ultraman defeated Superman in the opening twice, on and off screen, why did Lex need anything else? Also, Lex had Metamorpho locked up. He could have just used him to kill Superman using the same kryptonite he poisoned him with later on in the film. Lex's plan to take over half of Jaranpur made no sense. He already had a floating office, was a billionaire, and he created a pocket universe. Why on earth would he need a war-torn country? And don't get me started on Superman's parents. Suddenly evil monarchs. Sent him to Earth to rule and start a harem. What was the thought process here? Why would you completely change what his parents' values were? Was it just to be different and unique? If so, fair play, since it was a uniquely awful decision. When I heard the rumours of Bradley Cooper being cast as Jor-El, I was excited to see his take. Only for it to be wasted as a voicemail message.
Wow, no. Right, you get him out of it. Go on, fuck off.
Justice Gang shows up, smashes stuff, contributes little. Guy Gardner, all mouth. Hawk Girl, spent more time shouting than fighting. I did like Mr. Terrific though. He was a solid lad, and he actually had something to do. Then we've got the public turning on Superman because of a dodgy voicemail from space. Forget his heroics. Forget him saving everyone from a fire-breathing monster moments before. Just one news report that was timed perfectly after the monster died, and they're ready to sack him off for good.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye then. Loser.
Mine Pa Kent, usually salt of the earth. Here, they're one pitchfork short of a riot. They are meant to symbolise humanity. They're the reason Clark is humble, the reason he sees himself as a human and a good man. But in this film, they're as forgettable as last year's X Factor winner. Lex's pocket universe nearly ends the world, but it's fine. We can just punch in a code like it's a 50% Amazon voucher and the crisis is averted. Final battle, Superman's big comeback moment. Finally, we'd see why the people of Jaranpur idolised him. Why the little kids stood fast to hold the flag up, calling him to save them. We'd see Superman show why he intervened in the first place, we'd see... Oh wait, we didn't see any of that because he sent the Justice Gang to save the day. I mean, if there was ever going to be a single moment that would have been memorable, that was the one right there, and they nosed it up royally.
They've only nosed up the mainframe couplet, nosed it right up!
Krypto got old. Super quick. Supergirl rocks up, drunk, calls Supes a bitch, and baggers off. Classic gun gag, 0 weight or wink. Post-credit scenes. Don't waste your time, mate. The pacing, like trying to sprint in wellies, slow start, pointless detours, and a third act that looked like an SNL version of Man of Steel. The tone stayed goofy throughout. I expected some deeper moments or themes, but it all felt flat and surface level. This film wasn't made for Superman fans. It was made for casual viewers who think Superman will show up in the Fantastic Four. The script relied too heavily on unfunny jokes to break the tension. However, jokes can work in serious moments. Top Gun Maverick nailed this with the scene between Maverick and Iceman. That moment was full of weight and emotion, reminding us how far both characters had come. Iceman's illness added real-world vulnerability, and when the scene ended with a simple, heartfelt joke,
Who's the better pilot? You or me?
This is a nice moment. Let's not ruin it.
it landed because it felt earned. It was true to their friendship and it gave the audience an emotional release. But in Superman, every emotional beat was interrupted by Krypto or a poorly timed gag. Lex's final monologue was finally giving us something interesting, until Krypto hit him and Superman just stood there, useless. Clark's emotional scenes with Lois felt forced. He didn't feel like the Man of Steel, more like the Man of Sulk. As I said earlier, I hated the cinematography. The fight scenes felt flat and forgettable. Nothing struck visually except for Superman rising from the smoke in that one scene we kept seeing in the trailer where he saved the little girl. The flight scenes felt like they were shot with a GoPro strapped to his head. Compare that to Man of Steel. The flight scene still gives me chills. The sweeping, kinetic camera work, combined with Zimmer's score, truly sold the idea of Superman learning how to fly. It felt powerful and mythic. Compare that again with the plane rescue scene from Superman Returns. Even though the film as a whole is very forgettable, that moment where Superman saves a falling plane is unforgettable. It shows the awe and grandeur of what Superman can be. I love the John Williams score, and I appreciate what John Murphy and David Fleming tried to do with it, but it was wasted here. No scene felt elevated by it. The only time it worked is when Superman rose from the dust after saving a woman from the falling building, and even then, it was so late in the film, I'd already stopped caring about it. Now compare that to the Man of Steel flight or terraforming scenes. Those moments are iconic largely because of the music. Zimmer's score lifts the action and the emotion to another level. Or go back to the Smallville finale. They withheld the John Williams score for 10 seasons, then dropped it right at a moment where Clark rips open his shirt to reveal the S. That one use of the theme carried decades of emotional weight and delivered the most satisfying payoff imaginable. That's how you use music. This film just didn't.
Fuck about no.
David Corenswet. Surprisingly, solid. He's got the art, the smile, the potential, just needs a better script. He nailed the hopeful, optimistic side of Superman, and the scenes where he saved the people I enjoyed. It felt like a golden age Superman, saving regular people, trying to do what's right. It was just diminished by all the other scenes of him sad and overly emotional. Also, it would have been nice to see him save Lois, at least once in the film. Speaking of Lois, Rachel Brosnahan, she was sharp. Give her better things to do, and I think we've got a winner. Nicholas Hoult, brilliant as Lex, but he needs a plot worthy of him. Needs room to breathe and shine as the character. I actually think he'd have been better in the Snyderverse as Lex. Eddie Gaethje as Mr. Terrific, ironically, he commanded all the scenes he was in. The overall casting was pretty good, to be fair. I'd say Lois and Clark were cast pretty well, and I think the chemistry they had on screen was pretty believable. The cast is there, the music's there, the bones are there, but the execution, all over the shop. Superman should be inspiring. This version just felt like a joke, and not a funny one. Leave it with me, people. I'm going to fix James Gunn's Superman. If you've liked this review, feel free to thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, then I thank you for watching until now. Take care.